Alright, we'll get another project going today. I got 2 poles in. We're going to make a chicken pen. You can see I got some staked out here where I'm going to put all the poles. So these poles will be about 8 feet apart. And then there's 2 that are closer in the back. So we got 16 feet here. And then, zoom this out a little bit. And then we got these last 2 poles are 4 feet apart. So it's going to be about 20 foot long and about 8 feet wide. And I just got it staked out here. So the back here, the back 8 feet are going to be a kind of like a pole barn for the chicken to go up in, have nesting boxes, etc. And then the other section here will be like an outdoor area for them. And I figure this is a pretty cheap way. Lumber's kind of expensive now, so we got plenty of cedar in the woods. We're going to use mostly cedar on this. We'll use some mill lumber too from the store. Get some treated lumber, put it in there too. But this is the start of it. It's going to be right about here. We'll have a door. This area here is kind of rocky, so I thought it'd be a good place for the chicken pen. That way we're not wasting all our flat ground to a chicken pen. So we've got some big boulders in here. But I put these poles in about 1 foot to 1.5 feet deep, and I cut them probably a little taller than they need to be. I really wanted them, see, it kind of slopes off here too, slopes down this way a little bit. I'm going to have this about 8 feet tall here. I cut these at about 10 feet. So we're going to cut these down a little bit, and this will all be covered in chicken wire or hardware cloth on this end here. So we'll get going. Here's putting in a 3rd pole here. Just started with the post hole digger. So I'm going to keep on going. I'll film as I go. There's a really large woodpecker. It's pileated. See him up there? You can see him. He's going from tree to tree. All right, we got a little more done on the chicken pen. You can see we got the coop area boxed in here with some boards. We put treated lumber on the bottom, and then just some old lumber from another building put up top here in the middle. And this will be a doorway here. And then this area over here is going to be their yard. They'll be all chicken wired in right in here. It's 12 feet right there. That's going to be all chicken wired in for their yard. And I'm going to cut the poles off. Next thing we're doing is we're going to put some tin on this roof here. We're going to screw down these boards here, and then cut them poles to the height they need to be, and then put some tin on it. I got some leftover tin in the back of the truck here, scraps, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do on the sides. Probably put metal on the sides too. We got some leftover metal from another building. Here we go. We got the tin on there. Turns out this building's not real square, but we used these cedar poles, so it's hanging off a little crooked on there, but that's just the way it's going to be. For a chicken pen, we don't really care too much. We got a little overhang on the back here for the rain, and it's cut on an angle here, so there we go. Looking pretty good. Alright, our little chicken pen's coming around here. We're starting to get the outside area fenced in. We got it all braced up. Put some corner bracing in there. We use cedar poles for the outside area too. We're going to put wire up here yet, and then wire over the top also. And we've got the coop part finished. We just used some leftover tin we had laying around from all kinds of different things, so it's kind of a mixture of metal, different pieces. And we got a door on it with some leftover hinges. We just used every kind of leftover lumber you can think of to make this thing. Probably put some tin on the outside of here too eventually. And then here's the back of it. We just put a little piece of plexiglass window on there. I'll show you what the inside looks like. It's 8 foot by 8 foot inside. It's a little muddy because it's been raining like crazy. One of the birds went in here already, and we just put a perch up there for her. So this is the inside. Like I said, it's all leftover scrap metal just we had laying around, and cedar poles. So we did this pretty much for almost no money at all. Even the screws were left over from another project. Something I took apart, a building I had took apart, and all this, even the plywood here is left over from just scrap laying around. So I'll show you the other side. It kind of looks like a hobo shed a little bit, but didn't cost anything to make really, except for we had to buy, see, we stapled wire on the inside here underneath this metal, and then it extends out. Then we're going to put some gravel over that. That keeps animals from digging underneath. And we're going to have another door over here. So it'll be right where that little step stool is there. That's going to be another door for the outside area, so we can get in there and clean and do whatever. And then also we got a piece of temporary metal right here where the chickens, this is covering a hole where they can go in and out from the outside area to the inside area, so they can go up at night. And we also let them just free range too. We have them free ranging a lot of the time, but sometimes we may want to keep them locked up, so we'll lock them inside this pen here. That's it. Pretty simple. And the roof, I just cut it on a slant. So in the back there, it's shorter poles, taller poles up here, and the water just drains off to the back there. We'll get a here, give you a good view of it. The whole works. I got to cut these cedar poles off on the top there. This top board. That's some lumber we had to buy. That is a little over 6 foot, like 6.5 feet. And the only thing we had to buy was the green treated lumber for the bottom, middle, and top boards. And then this wire was left over. But we did buy another roll of 4-foot wire. This one here, 50 foot, to wrap around. And we've got some other wire that's left over from other projects that we're going to put across the top. And we're just going to use, for the top, to support that wire, we're just using some cedar trees that I cut from the woods, just like these poles here. They're all cut out of the woods. Going back up in here, we got all these cedar poles from just right up in here. There's thousands of cedar trees on this property that we can cut. So, but it's coming around, and we're doing the same thing here on the outside. We're extending the wire down a little bit, and then I'm going to cover that with gravel. May put some rocks on it or something too, just so nothing digs underneath. We got one chicken that decided to come out. Take a look. But, it's not the prettiest thing, but it didn't cost a whole lot. I'd say we got $100 in this whole thing, this whole building. All right, here's the progress so far. We've got the bottom wire on, and see how we kind of folded it across the bottom. We're going to put a little gravel across that, like I said earlier. And right now we're working on stapling this top row of chicken wire on there. And one thing we ran into, I put screws up, see, every so often. And we took the roll and we just kind of went around the whole side here, came back around, and just hung it on them screws or nails or whatever you want to use. That way it's easier to install. You don't have to try to hold the wire and staple it and everything. It just hangs up there real nice. But it seems to be coming around pretty good. We're just finishing that up. We got to put wire up on the top eventually. We're going to put some cross supports across the middle here. We got our corners in, the corner supports. We're just going to make cross supports all the way across and then lay the wire on top of it. And this area here will be an area where we can get in to clean out whatever we need to do. All right, we're just about done. All we have left is the wire that goes on the top here, and then run some. We're going to run some beams across to support the wire. The outdoor area is a little over 6. It's probably about 6.5 feet tall, and one of the chickens volunteered to go in there. So this area outside here was say 12 feet this way and 8 feet that way. And then the chicken coop is 8 foot by 8 foot, and we used all reclaimed, everything is reclaimed metal, that plywood door. The only thing new is on the run here we use new pressure treated lumber to support chicken wire. And the chicken wire on the outside here is actually that's left over from a project too. That roll right there is the only other thing we bought was that. And it's all left over from other projects or building we took down. Get a good view of it here. So this is what $100 chicken pen looks like. If we return that roll of wire here and we don't use that, then it'd be, I think, $60 we paid for the lumber. We kind of built it on, it's on a slant here, so we kind of went with the lay of the land. We didn't bother trying to make it level or anything. So leftover, we're going to put a door right here. For now, we got a piece of metal panel there. But that's it. I think they're going to like this. Got that hole for them to come out. She seems to be enjoying herself there. We'll take a look inside here. We're going to do a few things inside. We just got our latch on too. And first got in here, we got locked in actually. The door closed like that, and we didn't have the string on there yet. So, but yeah, she climbed out. She went out through this hole here and then just climbed over. But I was going to do it. volunteered. Here's our door, all reclaimed materials. Inside here, here's another chicken in there. We got a small window, and we do have some gaps on the top here for ventilation. The gaps over here on that end too. Of course, that hole there.
We also got some wire down here for keeping critters out.
Yeah, and then so we're gonna have a shelf right here where that board is, across there. And what else are you doing? You got a nesting box laying on the ground in there. You probably put that up on that shelf up there.
Probably on the shelf.
Yeah, we'll have nesting boxes along there. And somehow we got to hang their water bucket in here and a feed bucket in here yet. And there's the ceiling. It's just tin, some leftover tin, and these even the 2x4s up here were from a mudroom we took apart. It's all reclaimed lumber. It's got staples all over in it. We just pounded the staples in. You know, you can see them like that. And cedar poles out of the woods. There it is. I think they're gonna like it. It's we have about 20 chickens in there probably. That's a real inexpensive chicken pen. We did a little more work inside the chicken coop. We got it fitted up here. So they got a roosting, 3 tiers of roosting. And then we got got a shelf up here for their nesting boxes. And this is the brooder box for chicks that we made a while ago. This flips up. Right now we're just storing straw in there. And it's got that fine hardware cloth on it. And then some heavier, bigger hole hardware cloth on the bottom. So little chicks can poop all over in there and it'll go through. So we're using it for straw and storage, whatever right now. But that's where we put our baby chicks till they're big enough. And then we got this little latch here that goes down. See? And I can get in and out of there. Mama can come in and out with her chicks or bring them in and out of there. There's one up here. We moved them from a different location. We had a smaller chicken pen that was like half the size of this. This is 8 foot by 8 foot inside here. And then the run is 12 foot by 8 foot. And we've got over there is a door we're going to put on. That's one last thing we got to do. And then we got this pole here we got to put in the ground. It has a light on it in case predators come around. It's a motion sensing solar light. And that door, we got to fix that. We're going to try to train them to come in and out of here instead of the other door. The other door is more human access point. This other door, this big door, that way we can get in and out of there, take things in and out easy. It's a big wide opening. All right, so that's it. We got this is our feeder, and if your birds are alone for a long time, so you got holes drilled down there all around, and as they peck the feed out, it feeds more into it, and you can fill this whole bucket up with feed, and it'll keep on feeding them. So you're gone a week, that'll keep them fed for a long time. But we also use it all the time. We just sprinkle feed around the edges. Same with the water bucket. You can use something like similar to this for water also. Drill holes at the bottom and it'll keep the water filled in the bottom of that tray. Same thing. Otherwise we got another water over here too. I'm gonna use. That's our setup. We may make some dividers, say wooden nesting boxes up here. Right now we're just using like a recycling bin. Whatever we had laying around, this we used in the coop and the other place we moved to the farm here. We had a different, smaller property before this.